Or with a Z, as the Canadian would say.
All right, so Panda, I introduced him last time. I'm going to jump down to the bottom right-hand corner of Acheron Waste and introduce our player in the green trunks. He's the Protoss from the team I play. You can follow him on Facebook, facebook.com/AcroSC2. Ladies and gentlemen, it is ACro.
And his opponent spawning across from him on the top right-hand corner of the map. It is the former GSL champion, the handsome devil himself, Polt. Sponsored by CM Storm.
Sir,
and playing red.
At CM Storm Polt. Alright, Panda. Down 1-0. What can Acro do to take on the monster that is Polt?
Go for a 2-base Colossus all in on this map. Pretty strong.
I do like the strong forward pushes off of 2-base here, just based on the fact that that 3rd base location, if the Terran player does decide to go for it, is pretty pinched off. And if you can limit the movement of the Terran army, force him to be getting into medevacs, well, you pick off a medevac full of units, the battle swings into your favor so drastically. And if you get a crisp timing off of 2-base, before the 14-15 minute mark, then you probably could have a decent window there, especially if you're getting your upgrades going. That's definitely a critical point, at least from the Protoss side of things.
Yeah, at this point in the metagame, upgrades are really crucial with any push that a Protoss would do, because Terrans have, for over a year now, like really been kicking on those upgrades early to compete with the Chrono Boost.
Yeah, Chrono Boost, man, just gives you such a huge advantage. But
what is this probe doing?
I don't know.
Silly probe. Decided to go back to his base after scouting the ramp.
He's jumping back in though, I think.
He is.
He's gonna dive back into the pool, see what he can see. And interesting enough here, Polt hasn't made a second supply depot just quite yet. Has he? Am I going crazy? Or I think he might be going for like a reactor right off the bat here into factory.
That would be
pretty
interesting.
That's probably what he's gonna do. Because going for that second marine,
it was
adding
15 gas.
I think so.
Is the Reaper? Yeah, it was. Because he's just getting a second marine out now. Yep. That is exactly what he's going to do. So he's going to do a whip into an expansion. Well, he's going to get the expansion after like 22 supply.
It's pretty interesting because he's been going for the Reaper in like every TVP that I've seen him here. And I've seen the Reaper pop up in I believe it was the last GSL group in the TVP matchup. Not sure, but I haven't actually tried it out myself. Yeah, I haven't tried it out myself, but it looks so much fun.
Yeah, this is it's such a common build too. You're right, we haven't been seeing it a lot recently. It was a very kind of figured out, thoroughly researched build that a lot of Terran players started using in the earlier tournaments that we saw of HOTS beta and actually HOTS retail release, but now it's kind of on the back burner as Bomber's Reaper strat. There's so many other Terran players using right now. It's very popular. Mothership Core is on the way.
Yep, with the Nexus too. So, all right. Acro not going to go for anything too crazy here in the early stages, but that potential for the 2-base timing still is on the field. The SCV will get dropped before it makes its way into the main base, so vision for Polt here, slightly hampered. Not going to see the fact that a robotics facility is going to be the first initial choice here from Acro. Yeah. So this could definitely lead towards that 2-base Colossus timing you were mentioning before, Panda. And back on the other side of the field here, Polt is going for that Widow Mine. So, as we said before, going to be a drops. Hey, we're kind of smart here. We're calling everything right so far. I probably just
I would hope so.
But I'm knocking on wood.
There is a bunker going up for Polt. I like this choice. It's a little bit later than normal. Has he actually scouted this match? Yes, he did. All right. Oh, so he scouted the Nexus. That would be why the bunker is delayed. I love this supply depot placement, by the way. Warp prisms are very common on this map due to the fact that you have a ridiculous amount of dead space on your base.
Yeah.
In this like little appendage here. Kind of looks like a chunk of ginger. This like your main base in here.
Oh man, I had carrot ginger soup right before the broadcast. Just spiked my blood sugar levels up right before we went live. It was so delicious.
Nom.
Yes. All right. So first things first here. Acro has gotten an observer out, and he's actually going to go for a second observer too. So he's got to be thinking. Widow Mines are pretty common flavor here in TVP, no matter what the opener is. from the Terran player, and he's definitely going to be very safe with that. But Robotics Bay is on the way too, so curious to see if he'll let this robotics facility just idle for a second here while that robotics bay finishes up. He does, of course, have these 3 gateways on the field, but no Forge, no Twilight Council, nothing of that nature currently down for ACro.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be hard with the amount of gas you're diverting into this Colossus tech in and of itself.
Yeah. And this is something, I guess, like ACro, this is his tried and true build, man. And it's very, very standard. I mean, it's a ridiculously solid build. You can't really say it's wrong on any front. It's just kind of strong against everything, as this medevac does get boosted into the natural mineral line.
Yeah, he saw this medevac coming with the Observer that he was sending across the field, which looks like it has dropped, actually. Yes, Polt did pick that off. And Photon Overcharge being used immediately here to try to handle that.
Yeah. Having the Observer out early is crucial against a build like this.
Interesting enough, Polt's going to use this medevac just for scouting, too. Or maybe even trying to scare some probes away, but ACro, a little bit wiser than that, is going to come back in.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, there's nothing there, man.
Oh, wait a second.
Actually, I said the Observer was killed, but the Observer's basically just patrolling back to the left side.
Yeah,
bottom of
on the left side of the map, outside that little ledge. So Polt is actually going up to 5 racks off of this, so he does want to go for a 2-base timing. He can still get his 3rd base at like 11, 12 minutes, but this is going to be a pretty concerted push out here. It's really, really effective against early Colossi.
Luckily for ACro, he just picked off a medevac, so Polt's going to be 1 medevac short from this, but Stim has not completed yet. Polt moving in perhaps a little bit too early. Still got 40 or about 35 seconds left until that Stim does complete, and he's pretty much just getting to it, but you got to think this Colossus is just going to push this back.
Absolutely. Here comes a double Forge. So this is a lot of minerals that he can't actually use to warp in units right now. 2 Stalkers on the way. Colossus comes out here. Lance is not quite done yet. Needs to be careful about that.
Definitely. Don't want to overextend, but
yeah,
I mean,
it's a scary moment, man.
Not having that extra medevac, he's not going to be able to drop in as effectively as he potentially could have. You know, with that extra medevac, he could have been, dropping down to the lower left-hand corner of ACro's base, which he's now trying to send Stalkers down to, but will not be met by anything. And here comes that Troll Factory, slowly but surely, making its way in.
We will actually have a double drop. The Observer does not see this. It's just barely out of range, and the second Observer is in position. Sees a Marauder. He does not get to see the medevac, so he has to know something is up. Immediately, the Stalkers move back into his main base. I really like this play from ACro.
Yeah,
very solid thus far.
Even more Stalkers, too, to try to deal with this. And this is basically what we saw in Sage versus Polt game in the last series. And being able to deflect these drops is a definite benefit to the Protoss player. But Polt is moving into the natural with a small clump of armies. But once again, Colossus should just be pushed back. And very, very high energy Stalkers here, too, could have potentially force fielded all those units in. But Polt's response here, go for a 3rd base. Just take that, try to get his upgrades up.
Marine and a Widow Mine at each 3rd base potential location there for Polt. And the factory is still scouting these back row rocks. So, I mean, he's in a very good spot right now. He's continuing with upgrades. He doesn't quite have his armory done yet, but the Twilight Council is just now about halfway complete for his opponent, so shouldn't get too far behind there.
Polt's in a way more comfortable position here with the amount of vision that he currently has on the field, keeping those units in both of those expansion positions. Meanwhile, though, ACro, he's pretty much just confined to 2 base, Panda. I mean, this has got to feel very uncomfortable for him not knowing what Polt's exact tech route is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought that Colossus was going to walk over the Widow Mine. It's like, I haven't seen this happen yet.
No, actually, I can safely say that I've never seen that in a pro game before. But there will be a day, and I will be happy when it comes.
All right, so Polt's 3rd base has completed here, now just transferring SCVs over. And once again, ACro is going to be trying to take his 3rd base here in a slightly different position than Polt. Going for Blink, going for his +1/+1, about to finish up. So we'll have to see if he actually moves directly into +2/+2 now. Has not started just yet. Continue to ramp up his Colossus production, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, I really like... away.
Ooh. And boosting away. Alright. I really like this decision to take this base over here as the 3rd base for Protoss, because you have Blink Stalkers, you have the ability to traverse this little ridge here. Terran doesn't have that. They have to pick up their stuff in medevacs and then get back. So in the case of drop play, it's really just as simple to take this space as a 3rd and have an easier time defending than over here. I mean, because if you take this 3rd base, you have this rock area to contend with. You have to maneuver your units all the way out here, and you have to engage in a choke against a Protoss, which you really don't want to do. Big engagement over the center of the map right now.
This is actually a pretty scary looking army for ACro, but he's actually down in army supply. 82 supply to 96 of Polt. I mean, Polt's continuing to knock rocks down. It looks like he wants to take a 4th base here eventually, Panda.
I wouldn't fault him at this point. I mean, he has no reason to be afraid. He has a 20 supply lead, and he's continuing with his economy right now. 3 additional barracks just completing. That'll put him up at 8. 2-2 on the way.
Looking good.
Really not all that far behind his opponents. ACro does have a fair amount of chrono boost out his natural nexus at this point that I would love to see used.
Yep, gonna drop him down on those forges. As you mentioned it, Panda. So smart.
So happy.
I like the decision here from Polt to go for Marauder heavy. This is definitely what you need. I mean, I've found when you go, heavy Marines in Wings of Liberty, you're pretty good, well off, and that Observer is going to come in here and not... He's going to get the tail end of that scan and drop immediately. That's an unfortunate move there from ACro, but I really am favoring the choice to go for more Marauders in the matchup. Though a Mass Zealot contingency can definitely wreck your day in that situation, I still feel like if the Protoss player is going for this Colossus build, it's going to be a better decision overall, and the ability for them to take units out, buildings are going to drop so much quicker than Marauders than they are to Marines.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Jeez. So
however,
if he draws
there's more Colossi here, so he can't push the front.
Keeping him still. Storm is about to finish up too, and the Templar Archives luckily is not in danger here for ACro, but I mean the bio units are getting into good position here. And the 3rd base is definitely under assault. Photon Overcharge has gone down, but that could just drop immediately, Panda. Where are the Colossus? They're in the main base.
Oh my gosh.
3rd base
Everything's getting destroyed here. The 3rd is getting absolutely gutted. Every single probe dies, and ACro's not responding to this at all. He's warping in a couple High Templar as natural, but that's it.
So many of the Stalkers have fallen here, so the Vikings should be able to be pretty effective against the Colossus, but there are no medevacs in the vicinity here for Polt. He's trying to add on as many as he can back at home to our currently posturing outside the main base in Polt, as in addition to taking his 4th base, is adding on a 5th command center right in front of his natural ramp.
This could be used either for planetary or just to float out for another base. It could be a macro orbital too. We're getting about to that point in time, and right now 50 supply lead for Polt, 20 of that is workers, so the army supply is not as... I mean, it's 127 supply to 100 at the moment. But this Viking count from Polt, nice.
Yeah. You gotta feel like ACro has to make something happen here. Losing that 3rd base is absolutely devastating, considering the fact that Polt's 3rd base has been untouched this game. His 4th base is up with plenty of SCVs and mules. I mean, looking at his macro back at home, he hasn't, been producing from these barracks, but he has the potential here to remax on his army because he's at 188 supply, Panda. Lots of storms though.
Polt has a habit of landing storms, like just sitting in storms for extended periods of time.
That's
like that.
He stimmed right after them, and the Vikings are gonna get focused down by Blink Stalkers.
ACro is in a pretty good position right now. He has a fair amount of storms at his disposal. Upgrades are even at the moment.
But he's turning around. No,
he's going. Oh.
I mean, leading with the High Templar and the
drop in
they're
the main
so
base
bold.
is just absolutely going to gut 100% ACro's everything. All of his production is going to die with this. This is completely all in. Can he pull it off?
It turned into a base trade of sorts here because the army of
You're on
ACro
base
is
trade.
actually, army from ACro is going to kill that army from Polt. If ACro would, evacuate his probes from his natural and bring them with his army, he's got 400 murals. He can remake a nexus on the other side of the field, but he is going to charge up the ramp here. A lot of energy on these sentries, but they're immediately going to be focused down by Polt's army.
The sentries going first. The zealots are all in the back here. A bit unfortunate positioning here for ACro. I like the fact that he's not overstored. Yeah. You took the play.
He's trying to storm all the units here. He's actually killing a lot of them. The Colossus are doing huge amount of damage to the bio, and the storm going down on the top of the Vikings here.
He needs to blink up and focus the Vikings down, though. Now he does. Colossi survive.
Panda, what are we seeing here? The probes were not evacuated from the natural, though, so ACro's probes are going to fall. Now, just doing so, he's trying to get them desperately to his army, but Polt stimming forward, knowing that killing these probes is going to be a crucial game. Focusing down the probes in the front. Polt is going to eliminate those.
That's so key.
And he's got a huge drop going to what is ACro's hidden base. He's going to be stumbling upon it. It's not Christmas, but Polt has just gotten a huge gift in this game.
He just wants to take units out and ferrying them out anywhere besides his main base, and even happens to find his opponent's hidden base. It's kind of funny.
Fortunately for ACro here, he did not knock down this rock, so one probe is going to be able to sneak out and go to what's going to be the lower southwest portion of this map. But ACro's army is just below Polt's here, and considering the fact that
Oh
Storms
my gosh,
are insanely cost
gets
efficient.
taken out
Colossus
by a lone Marauder. Stimmed and ran past the Stalkers.
All right.
Killed the Colossus in one hit.
Despite ACro having Storms, despite him having an army that could probably crush Polt is the master of the base trade. I have never, besides perhaps MKP, Polt's probably one of the guys who will never leave a game. He will always fight you to the death.
Absolutely.
He's a statesman, and he is going to see ACro's only Nexus in this game, and I don't think ACro's got a shot here, Panda. I think before he even has an opportunity to kill Polt's army, Polt's just going to eliminate all of his buildings.
When you win the GSL Super Tournament, a Terran in which, or a tournament in which Terran reigns supreme, base trades do not even concern you, in the very least. You know what to do instantly.
He's still mining from 2 bases too, so despite ACro having literally 0 income, Polt is getting 1,800 minerals per
And
day.
he has the supply depots to actually produce as well. He's getting 7 barracks on the field right now.
Yeah, and where? Oh my god, he made 1 Nexus. Okay, so ACro's still in this, and Polt doesn't know where that is. That's in such a weird spot too. He's probably not going to be rallying units from that position ever.
Yeah. And it is out of vision of pretty much, all of Protoss units and structures.
Well, 7 barracks on the way here for Polt. Will he throw tech labs down on these? I don't know if he'd benefit from making Marines necessarily against the Colossus, but if he goes for, say, Mass Marauder, not only will they soak up Storms, they'll be able to stim on top of that Colossus and definitely take down those Stalkers. And yes, it is going to be mass tech labs going down on those barracks here.
Yeah.
And a
I
planetary.
mean, losing that one Colossus, it really puts a hurt on ACro's army right now.
Oh
no!
Does
The
do
Marauder's
the Nexus.
The Marauder's set!
Oh, Panda.
Bolt doing a double take, stimming in, and this
This is going to be GG.
is looking to be game right now. There is one probe on the map, though. Where is it? It's building another Nexus!
Yeah, canceled it.
Alas.
All right, so we will have another 430 minerals for an additional Nexus in that event, but look at Acro supply. Not 44 out of anything, just straight up 44. These are all the units he has left in the game. He's got full energy High Templar. If he can hit the sickest Storms in the world, maybe he can come back here, but...
His last observer dies, though, and his High Templar going out in the middle of nowhere, unsupported by anything.
Polt doesn't see it, though. Preemptive Storms are going to go down here. Acro's got to do his best to try to eliminate this army from Polt, but he absolutely...
One by one, the High Templar die.
Oh my gosh.
4 High Templar sniped there. 4 Polt. Now like a 70 supply lead over his opponent right now. One lone Nexus that he has to defend.
I mean, fortunately for Acro, High Templar regenerate energy, but they're all full here. The Storms need to be used in order to get things, and this blink under those medevacs here can be actually relatively effective, but the Colossus is immediately going to get stimmed down here. Oh.
I mean, the Storms are good, but just the lack of units. He doesn't have enough units to support here. Look at how many Marauders are on the field right now. One more Storm at his disposal. There it goes.
It's not a timer, ladies and gentlemen. It is a supply, and there is the GG. Polt taking a 2-0 lead in the series.
It's kind of like a